something I am deeply confused and if not hurt about. Insomniac's Spider-Man game, The Great Web. The trailer has leaked online, and people are more disappointed than ever that they would cancel this game. It's essentially like they put money in the fireplace, poured gas on it, and lit it on fire. It's upsetting to see. Obviously, it must have came out that it would cost them more to maintain and bring content to this than it would to release and make. I just don't understand. But unfortunately, we're hearing more about 70 unique costumes and a leaked trailer, that a game that we will never see. So here's something awesome that you'll never see. I mean, it sucks. You could have been multiple Spider-Man. They had bosses. The open world looks smooth. You had web wings, co-op with all your friends. It's shown to be so much fun, as we can see in Helldivers 2. There's so much that could have been done with this game, and it's sad to see that this was on the chopping block. Yeah.
In other ways, no. Like, there's a lot of good in this. Spider-Gwen, for one. You felt it yourself when you first played as Miles Morales in his standalone game. He became your Spider-Man because he represents your heritage. It's you represented on screen. We need more women. Like, we're still fighting to get female representation in gaming. Spider-Gwen is a universally beloved character. She's brilliant in the Into the Spider-Verse movies. Her own comic run is absolutely fantastic. When she first appeared in the original Spider-Verse comic run, she broke our universe's Peter Parker and said, yeah, well, I lost my Peter, you lost your Gwen. How's about we just protect one another in this fight, sort of thing? She immediately enamored herself to every fan worldwide and built new ones, people who would never have been into Spider-Man before because they didn't see themselves in it. And suddenly you've got a female version who is a different character, who's not just like a female version of Peter Parker. It would have done a lot of good for a lot of new fans. My concern is, as we've seen with a lot of live service games, look at Destiny at the moment. Destiny is probably the best in terms of a live service game in the amount of content that they put out, in the amount of quality content that they put out, the fact that it doesn't fall over and break on a semi-regular basis, but it's still fun to play with friends and achieve stuff in. But it costs them so much to keep that game running. It costs them so much to just develop that game year on year and put that level of content out. And that is the only way to realistically keep a live service game popular, by constantly putting content out. And we saw that Marvel Spider-Man 2 cost Insomniac $200 to $300 million to make. This looks like Spider-Man 2 in terms of gameplay, in terms of character models, in terms of the city and what have you. So it's not exactly going to be a cheap game to make. And then they've got to keep content coming for that. At some point, you've got to think, we need to cut our losses because there's no way the fans have got enough money to keep pumping into this game. I think what they should probably do here is build a story, build a one-off experience like we've had in the previous Spider-Man titles, and make it into a primarily single-player experience that can have co-op. You can run the exact same campaign in co-op with up to 4 people, for example, so you can have 4 different Spider people running around at once. And I think that is a way to take the assets and the work that they've put into this and still get something out of it and please the fans. I just feel like as a live service, it was doomed to fail because of the time and money that needed to be invested into it and what fans would not be able to invest back.
Yeah. It's that fine balance of what seems cool right off of the bat and then what actually makes sense on paper when you break it down and get all the money and the numbers out, right? Subscriptions seem like they have a wider range of games, and it seems like the value is undeniable, but when you get down to how much time you can actually spend on the games, then the real value sort of shows itself. So it's the same kind of, comparison here. Icebergs, 90% of them are underwater, right?
Yes.